Alright, so we're just going to go through a couple of the rules for our game here today. We're going to have each category is a natural disaster, and we will have 3 questions to go along with each natural disaster. Once you have the answer to each question, you will raise up your check mark and you'll answer. If you do not answer correctly, the question will go to the next contestant, and if neither of you get it right, we'll reveal the answer and we'll move on to the next question. Is everybody ready?
Ready.
Alright, let's start with round 1. Our first round is earthquakes. That will be our first natural disaster for this game show. So our first question is, name 3 of the 10 largest earthquakes. You have that answer, Erin?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Chile, Alaska, and Indonesia.
Good. All 3 of those earthquakes were part of the 10 largest earthquakes ever recorded. So good job. There's a point for you. Our next question is, what is the largest magnitude earthquake ever recorded? Do you guys know this one? Alright, you got it? Okay.
Want to say it's around a 9.5.
9.5? Alright. That answer is actually correct. Do you know where that took place? Or
Was in Chile?
Yes. Yes, it was in Chile in 1960, and that was the
1960.
largest earthquake ever recorded. Pretty big one.
Good job.
Our last question in the earthquake category is about how many total earthquakes happen every year. You know that already.
Yes,
wow.
I do. It is about 500,000.
Good. Yeah, about 500,000 earthquakes happen every single year. Only about 100,000 of those 500,000 are actually able to be felt by us humans, and only about 100 can actually cause damage every year. So very interesting. Awesome. So I believe our score is 2-1, and we'll move on to our next round, which is tsunami. We'll start with our second round of questions. And our second round is tsunamis. So our first question is, what causes tsunamis? Erin, you know?
Yeah. That's when an earthquake happens underneath the water.
Yeah, that's right. It is the shifting of tectonic plates under the water which causes the wave. Our second question is, name 1 of the 3 warning signs of a tsunami. So if you're on the shore and you're just chilling, relaxing on the beach, what is one reason for you to start running?
I got it.
You know it again?
Yeah. A loud roaring sound that's like similar to a train.
Yeah, definitely. Abnormal ocean activity, if you see the ocean retreating, or a big wall of water, obviously. But yeah, that's one thing that I wasn't even really aware of, that there's a loud roaring sound that goes along with every tsunami. So it's definitely interesting. Our last question on this round is, what was the deadliest tsunami in history?
Oh,
Do you know?
yes.
All right.
That would be Indonesia in 2004. It was the day after Christmas.
Yeah, that's so disappointing. All right, yeah, it was in Indonesia on December 26th in 2004. Definitely. And we will move on to our next round. I think we're all tied up here on the scores, and our next rounds will be hurricanes. Our third round out of 4 rounds is hurricanes, and we will start off with our first question. It is, what is the top speed of hurricane? Do you know, Erin?
Yeah, that's 200 miles per hour.
About 200 miles per hour is right. The average speed is around 100 to 150 miles per hour, but hurricanes can definitely reach up to a speed of 200 miles per hour, which is really scary. Our second question is, what are some of the reasons that led to the mass amount of damage from Hurricane Katrina?
All right, well, first, New Orleans is located below sea level.
Right.
There's a failure of the levee system, and the emergency personnel had a failed response.
Yeah, definitely. We learned about, like in this one class that I've taken here at Penn State, that because of the restructuring in the government that happened, there was just a lot of miscommunications that were happening and slow response times between different emergency response personnel. So it was very, very sad, but hopefully we have learned from our mistakes. Our final question in this round is, how much monetary damage was caused by Hurricane Sandy?
Oh,
Do you know that?
yes.
All right.
In the U.S. alone, Hurricane Sandy caused about $62 billion worth of damage.
That's insane. That's crazy to think about because it wasn't just us that were affected, but it was like countries in the Caribbean islands that were also affected, which also had monetary damage. To have one natural disaster cost about 62 billion, it's crazy to me just in our country.
Exactly.
Yeah. So with that, we have Maddie Goss leading us by 1, Aaron trailing behind by 1, but we will move into our final round, which is volcanoes, and we will see who comes out on top. Our final round of our natural disaster feud is volcanoes, and we will see who actually ends up winning this game. So we'll move on to our first question in volcanoes, and it is, how does volcanic ash affect aviation safety? So when a volcano explodes, it's sending all this ash into the atmosphere. What's dangerous to aviation?
Okay, I think I got this. Yeah. All right, so it can jam the gears in the plane, and it can also make the engine flame out.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a big risk. I'm sure whenever volcanoes are sense that they're about to erupt or have, I think a lot of the emergency response is signaled back to aviation to make sure everybody's remaining safe and planes are staying out of those areas. So our second question in this round is, how large is the danger zone around a volcano?
Oh, I know this.
You know that too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Aaron might be taking the lead.
I
We'll see.
know. I think it's a 20-mile radius that's like the danger zone.
Yeah, definitely. 20 miles radius around the volcano is definitely the danger zone. So we'll see with our last question if Maddie can end this in a tie or if Aaron is going to be the winner. Our last question is, what % of volcanoes are situated underwater?
I know this one.
Okay.
It is 20%.
Yes, 20% of our volcanoes that are active are underneath the water. So that is definitely a great end to our game. Everybody ends in a tie. But thank you again for watching Natural Disaster Feud, and we will see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.